Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and we all know that person, we all know that dude. You might be that dude who has a body part that they have tried everything for. They've tried literally everything for, and it won't grow. It's a lagging body part, and nothing they do seems to help. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. Let's do a little bit of crafting and let's talk about that. Alright, this is a video I haven't done in a while. Figure it's time to recover it. I probably haven't touched on this in this format in probably at least a year. This was inspired again by Status by Dr. Mike Israetel. Always give credit where credit is due. And yeah, you always have this guy who's like, man, I've got a lagging body part. We'll just call it biceps, for example. It could be anything. It could be pecs, it could be quads, hamstrings, but biceps, that's a common one. You'll get guys who are like, man, my biceps won't grow. I've tried everything. I come in, I do 5 different types of curls. I do 5 sets of every one. They're doing sometimes 25 sets for a body part because they think that, if they just train it with more work and more volume and more exercises, it just has to grow, and that has to be what's going to make it grow. And they've tried everything. But the funny thing is, a lot of times the guys who are like, I've tried everything, you sound exactly like those people who have tried everything to lose weight and they're still 100 pounds overweight. Stop and think about that for a minute. You know those people. I tried everything. I tried the Adkins. I tried this diet pill. And you got to look at them and go, well, did you just try eating less and moving more? Did you try tracking your calories? You try eating more salads? You try getting up and walking every day for an hour? You try joining a gym? Did you do that? And they're like, yeah. Well, how long did you stick it out? Did you try it for a year straight? You guys who oftentimes have these lagging body parts who've tried everything, you're exactly like that person. You didn't do the basics. You didn't do the stuff that's known to work. You did the fatty stuff that you just assumed would work. And you exhausted a muscle group. You didn't ever let it recover, and you trained it with more fatigue and volume than it was capable of recovering from, without giving it sufficient rest, without giving it sufficient nutrition, without gaining weight, which means you're probably not gaining much muscle mass because you didn't eat enough. And again, you never got progressive overload because you did 5 or 6 different exercises, just training them to failure with drop sets and supersets, that you never actually bothered to look if you were really progressing on them. And that's the key to this. That's something that gets overlooked way too much. What is the number one, absolute, hands down, accepted way to grow muscle mass? We've known this for over 2,000 years. I've done countless videos on this. The ancient Greeks learned this. These brilliant philosophers figured this out over 2,000 years ago. They knew it and even wrote about it. To this day, this has never been debunked. You make a muscle grow with progressive overload. Progressive overload, that's it. That's the key. And all these guys have tried everything but progressive overload, rest, recovery, and food. The basics, the absolute basics. That's why, we laugh at that person we know, that family member, that person who's tried everything except eating less and moving more, and doing it in the long term, doing it every day for a year straight. They didn't do the one thing that we know works. Well, it's the same thing when you guys with progressive overload. If it's your biceps or whatever muscle it is, did you stop and think maybe you don't need 5 different exercises? Do you really think any muscle in your body is so complex that it needs 5 different exercises to stimulate maximum growth? I mean, stop and think about that biologically. Don't look at what magazines are saying. Just use some common sense and look at what a muscle does. Look at what the bicep does. Do you honestly think it needs 5 different exercises to stimulate growth? And did you know that this is well documented and understood, that there is a maximum recoverable fatigue that you can subject any body part to? And if you don't recover from that, and you keep it always in the fatigue state and it never recovers, that the muscle may not grow very much. A lot of guys don't know that. And it's not to say that you shouldn't train harder, that high volume doesn't work. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is too much volume, because it doesn't allow sufficient growth time versus recovery time, can actually stunt growth. It can stall growth in a muscle. It can absolutely be done, particularly if it's just mindless volume and fatigue that's not even directed at a goal. If you tell me that you're focusing on getting stronger or adding reps to a concentration curl, all right, that's a goal. You're moving toward it. You want to go from the 20-pound dumbbell to the 25-pound dumbbell for 10 reps. You want to be able to take the 25-pound dumbbell that you've been doing 8 reps with and get to 12. All right, that's a goal. That's progression. That will make your bicep grow. But the thing is, you shouldn't need that many exercises. I would say for any lagging body part that is truly lagging, you need to cut out all the junk for it, and you need to focus on one compound movement and one isolation movement. Pick very good, very effective ones, and you hammer that muscle with those. Why that instead of so many? Because you have adaptations you have to make. You have to make neural adaptations, learning curves and everything for every new exercise you add. For every exercise that you do, you have to adapt to it individually, and there's a neuromuscular adaptation, not just a growth process. If, for example, you wanted your biceps to grow and you focused on getting as strong as possible on the weighted chin-ups, and get as strong as possible on one type of curl. It could be a barbell curl with an Olympic bar. It could be an incline curl with a dumbbell. In fact, I recommend those two. Those are both amazing exercises for lagging biceps. They're simple, they're basic. One of them is a big, heavy movement, and the other one is a lighter movement with a stretch reflex involved. Either one of those are beautiful. They're fantastic. You can build enormous biceps off those exercises if you get good at them. Many guys, before drugs became really as prevalent as they are today, most of your top bodybuilders, go back and look at what those guys did. Bill Pearl, incline curls. Arnold Schwarzenegger was big. He built his original biceps. If you guys look at what a guy looked like as a teenager, all straight bar curls. Steve Reeves, amazing physique and arms in his era, and he was strong too. Incline curls, that was his favorite exercise for his biceps. Did them every workout, 3 times a week. Easy choices. You could stand there and you could focus on getting as strong as possible in those 2 exercises, and that way you're only dealing with a learning curve and a neural adaptation to 2 exercises for your biceps. One big heavy compound for overall growth that's going to help your whole body grow. A lot of other muscles in the same kinetic chain with your bicep, right? Because we know that the rest of the kinetic chain in any major movement will limit the size of a muscle. And in fact, if your lats get bigger from doing chin-ups, your biceps will have to get bigger. If you get stronger at it, they're both going to get bigger. They're going to grow in proportion. And then one isolation movement that really hammers and gets deep into that muscle and really focuses on it. A straight bar curl done with full range of motion can absolutely build enormous biceps. Incline curl with dumbbells can do the same thing. Plenty of guys have done just that one exercise and got great results decades ago. Nothing new under the sun, guys. You could focus all your energy in getting stronger on those 2 exercises. You know what? You get to the point to where you can only do 3 chin-ups, to the point where you can do 5 chin-ups with a 35 or 45 pound plate hung around your waist or a chain around your neck. You know what? That'll probably add an inch to your biceps right there. That'll put an inch of meat or more on your biceps, guaranteed. And you know what? If you're gaining weight, if you're eating enough to gain weight, to gain muscle, you're going to gain muscle everywhere if you're training everywhere. That's the thing people forget too. If you're trying to focus on one little small body part, your body tends to grow oftentimes in proportion. If you're not giving it enough overall training stimulation and enough food to be slowly gaining weight and be putting muscle on your whole body, those smaller muscles will sometimes not grow either. In fact, they're going to grow even less because you're not stimulating your overall body to grow. You're not giving it sufficient nutrition and overall stimulation to signal your body to grow as a whole growth process. That will also limit the size of even one specific muscle you're trying to do, like the bicep. So gaining weight and gaining muscle overall and focusing heavily on those weighted chin-ups will put muscle on that lagging bicep. It will put muscle on it, it will grow, and you're focusing on just one big compound movement that involves the biceps. You're not having to learn and adapt to several different exercises. Same thing. You can come in, and once you've kind of hit everything with that, you can come behind it and do that one type of curl. And don't change it up. You just keep focusing on it. You get better and better and better at that one type of curl and stronger at it, where you can do more reps with the same weight. You can add weight, then you get stronger with that weight by adding more and more reps and being able to do more sets and reps with the heavier weight. Over time, you just keep getting stronger and stronger on that one exercise. And don't come in and do endless volume with them. Don't come in and be like, oh, I'm going to do drop sets, supersets. No, don't do any of that stupid shit. If you've been doing that and you're not growing, you're probably exceeding your maximum recoverable fatigue in that muscle group. And it's not going to grow as long as you do that. Step back and just get stronger on those 2 exercises. Get stronger on them. If you can only curl, the empty Olympic bar with, 45 pounds on the curl, And you can, for 6 or 7 reps, you can get to where you can add a 10-pound plate to each side or a 25-pound to each side. It's just like I said with the chin-ups, that chin-up's probably going to add an inch of meat to your biceps. Well, you're going to get the same thing if you can go from curling that empty bar for 8 reps to curling it with a 25 on each side for 8 reps. That's probably going to put another inch on your biceps also. All right, you focus on doing that for a year straight, just those 2 exercises. You come in, you only do ever more than 3 sets of them in a workout. Do them every workout. Do them 3 times a week. No reason to not train a lagging body part 3 times a week. Don't come in and do a ton of volume. You might only do 4 or 5 sets total per workout for them. Do it 3 times a week. Come in and do that. Focus on eating, sleeping, recovery, and getting stronger on those basic exercises, and you will bring up a lagging muscle group. I don't give a fuck what muscle it is in your body. I don't care. If you do it that way, you pick one good compound, one good isolation movement, and you focus on getting stronger on them for that lagging body part week after week, month after month, for a year straight, and you slowly gain weight. You eat enough to gain half a pound or a pound of body weight every single month. Gain a pound of weight every single month while doing that, while getting 8 hours of sleep every night, giving those muscles enough time to grow and recover, and don't beat them up with stupid ass supersets and drop sets and all that stuff. Just focus on getting stronger on them, and I promise you that lagging body part will come up over time. So these guys who are like, I tried everything to make this muscle come up and it doesn't come up. No, you tried everything but the stuff that we know for a fact works. You did everything else, everything trendy, just like the trend diets and the diet pills and everything else that fat people do and claim doesn't work. They tried everything. You tried everything with a time-proven method that has worked for decades and for generations for people. You did everything but that. Go in and do that, and I promise you in a year that muscle's going to come up significantly. It's that simple. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.